Next topic is introduction of production of speech and language. According to Edward Sapir, language is purely human and non-instinctive method of communicating ideas, desires and emotions by a set of voluntarily produced symbols. Now these symbols in the first instance are auditory and they require and are produced with specific speech organs. Speech production is a process of translating thoughts into speech. The complete process relies on the selection of words that need to be conveyed, organization in the relevant grammatical forms, and then the articulation, which is the final stage, articulation with the help of motor system by using vocal apparatus. It's a process of turning the intent to say, whatever the thoughts are, whatever the intentions are, into articulated speech using brain and vocal instruments. So you're using brain because brain is responsible for providing the relevant information to be conveyed, and then you need the vocal instruments for the speech production. It's a production of spoken or written language both. Speech production is not the same as language production, since language can be produced manually by signs as well. So language production can be through any forms, but for speech we need articulation, we need vocal apparatus or sound system. We have stages of language production that are involved in the speech process. Number one is planning. Now, this stage consists of several interdependent processes. For example, after identifying a message or part of message to be linguistically encoded, a speaker must select the individual words, also known as lexical items, to represent that message. Now, this process is called lexical selection. The words are selected based on their meaning, which in linguistics is called semantic information. Lexical selection activates the word's lemma, which contains both semantic and grammatical information about the words. Now, in this planning stage, the first important goal of conceptual preparation is to establish which parts of the conceptually available information are going to be encoded. Not only which part, but in what order. That is something which has been proposed by Levelt. A second goal in the planning stage is to convert the conceptual information into a format that is suitable for the linguistic formulation process. Not only the conceptual information, but then that has to be suitable for other linguistic information that needs to be formulated in terms of specific processes. Second is the grammatical information. Grammatical information is then used in the next step of language production. That is also known as grammatical encoding. Critical grammatical information includes characteristics such as words, syntactic category, and they include noun, verb, etc. What object it takes, and grammatical gender if it is present in the language. Using some of these characteristics as well as information about the thematic role of each word in the intended message, each word is then assigned a grammatical and thematic role. Function morphemes like plurals s or the past tense id, s or past tense id, are added in this stage as well. Now, grammatical encoding process involves in developing a syntactically well-formed sentence. It comprises first those processes that map the relationship among the participants in conceptual representations, for example, agent, patient, etc., onto functional syntactic relations between the words of sentence, for example, subject, direct object, etc. Next, on the basis of resulting hierarchical organized syntactic frame for the sentence, the words in these sentences are linearized in a manner allowed by the language being spoken. Third is phonological encoding. Phonological encoding is a process of or the stage of language in which the mental representation of a word to be spoken is transformed into sequence of speech sounds to be pronounced. Now, this process refers to the processes that are responsible for determining the phonological word forms and prosodic content of sentences according to the level. The first point regarding this is the phonemes of words are retrieved from the mental lexicon. Following this retrieval process, the resulting sequence of phonemes is syllabified according to a language-specific set of syllabification rules. The domain of syllabification is assumed to be the phonological word which can but need not coincide with a lexical word. So these are the three stages which are involved in the process of language production. Language production is an intrinsically more difficult subject to study than comprehension because although speech is observable, the ideas that lead to the production are more difficult to define.